Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to my live stream. So we have a pretty light agenda this evening. We're going to talk about a couple of things here, including a top 10 list that just came out from CBSI and actually had a couple of books on the list. So I decided to flag those for you guys because I just saw that a short while ago, realized I had the book. So I was like, let me showcase those. Let me showcase those. We are going to highlight a couple of other books that I found while digging in a short box. It's related to kind of sort of the video that I released earlier today. We are going to unbox an AOK from one of our past trivia winners. He actually took the box that I sent out to him and shipped it back to me with a couple of books in it. So we'll crack that open. And then I have an announcement. You are not going to want to miss the announcement, so stay tuned. There will be some free books that will be given away as part of the announcement, so don't miss that part. So let's see who we have here in the chat. We are off to a fast start. We have 11 people in here already. Jay Perry says he is handicapped if it's trivia tonight because he's on a cell phone. It is not trivia night tonight, but stay tuned, brother. Omega Comics, how you doing? Whitewell Comics is here. Wing Nut is in the house. John's Comics with Kids is here as well. Diaz Comics is saying that the live chats are blowing up. Said I'm actually getting a healthy number of people. I'm not going to read the rest of that because I don't agree. But yeah, the live chats do pretty well, man. People seem to really enjoy the live chat, which I think is cool because I enjoy doing it, you know. Thanatos, how you doing, brother? Kingpin Comics is here. All of the community is out for this one. So we're going to have a little fun here. We're going to keep it relatively brief. I want to thank all you guys that responded to me a short while ago. I am in the process of doing a little bit of research for a video that I want to put out. I'll probably record it tonight and I'll release it soon. But I like to get the audience involved. You guys know that. So I reached out to a couple of people to do a little bit of some market research to make sure that my thoughts weren't too out of left field. And sure enough, I am right in line with some of you guys. I think there's a couple of tangents that, you know, people went down, but I think that's perfectly fine. I think generally we are all thinking in the same direction, which is good. So we'll see. Who else is here? TJ Watson is here. How you doing, brother? Hope Nuts, my buddy, is here. Good to see you, brother. What did you guys say? I missed it. I missed a point here. I missed something here. All right, I'm sure I'll catch up. All right, so thank you guys for joining. So if you guys haven't had a chance yet to check out CBSI's hot list, I think I saw it on Instagram, but I think it's also on their website. You may want to check it out. CBSI stands for Comic Book Speculation and Investing. I like to check out their Instagram page to see like what's hot. I find it interesting to see if there's any books that I actually own that are actually on the list versus using it as a means to go out and buy the hot book, right? So I like to do it to identify books in my own collection that may be going up in value, which I think is really cool. So they highlighted two books today. Well, kind of sort of two books today that I actually have. The first one is Young Avengers #1. This is a book that I picked up a while ago. I think I may have picked this one up off the rack. I can't remember, but I picked this one up. It is on the hot list, and I believe that this is the first appearance of Kate Bishop. And then Kate Bishop in #6 of Young Avengers Presents. This is where she actually makes her first appearance as Hawkeye. So she is in the Hawkeye costume there on the front page. Now, why are these two books hot? They are hot because there's speculation that Kate Bishop may actually show up in an upcoming MCU movie where I think she's going to play Hawkeye. So that's part of the reason why these particular books are considered hot. I haven't been on eBay to see if the price is going up, but I think the CBSI website said that I think this one is going for like 30 bucks now. And I can tell you, I did not pay anything close to that. I probably paid this cover price of $2.99, if not, 20% off of that price. So if you guys haven't looked, you may want to check these books out. because there may be some magic that's happening out there, especially if you have them in your collection already. So John's Comics with Kids is saying that the prices are on the rise for sure. White Wolf Comics says, don't get me started on her first appearance of her as Hawkeye. What's the deal? I want to get you started because that's the whole point of this thing, is to have a robust discussion. And to be honest with you, I haven't done any research on this thing. I saw it, I went and looked for the books, and I pulled them out, and then I turned the camera on. So that's the extent of the work that I've done. So if there's some nuances to that, let's talk about it. So DS Comics is DS Comics comes off the top turnbuckle. Basically says, don't get him started. Clint is the Hawkeye. That's the only Hawkeye, not this young lady. So I think that's funny. She makes a pretty decent Hawkeye, brother. I mean, she I don't know. She makes a pretty decent Hawkeye. Gibson, how you doing? Welcome to the chat, brother. I am doing well. It's good to see you. So, as I mentioned, I was digging in the short boxes. And when I was digging in my short boxes, I actually found a really cool Iceman series. It literally took me 2 weeks to find this series. And I wasn't looking consistently, to be honest with you. But We Love Comics actually found this book, highlighted it in one of his videos. He actually didn't have the whole series, but he highlighted it in his video. And I was like, I have that book. And I went to go look for it, couldn't find it. Fast forward 2 weeks, I found it yesterday. I recorded a video and I released it. It's basically a really cool Iceman book. So if you haven't seen that video, you might want to go check that one out because it's some cool stuff. So before I get to my next point, hold on. Young Avengers 12, she's calling Hawkeye for the first time, but Young Avengers Presents 6 is considered her first appearance. Young Avengers 12, gotcha. All right, so Sam Wilson is cool as Cap, but Cap is so it's not cool. You guys are hilarious. So while I was digging in those short boxes and found that Iceman book, DS Comics, you may like this. I think this is who this is. I actually found this series right here. Number 1, Hawkeye Limited Series. This is one of those things, the Iceman book and also these Young Avengers books makes you never want to throw a book away or give a book away because you never know what's going to be worth something. So that's part of the reason why Hawkeye number 2, I decided that I was absolutely going to hold on to these. Hawkeye number 3, because you never know what could happen. And the last thing you want to do is to be kicking yourself because you let a book get away from you when you had it in your collection, and now that book is suddenly worth something, and now you're screwed. So Omega Comics says he actually has this one. Yeah, I actually tried to read this series a while ago, and Hawkeye was not that manly, if I remember correctly. He was a little whiny in this particular series, and I'm not sure if it got any better, but he was not the toughest guy in the first part of the series. Omega Comics is asking if I have Jack of Hearts. No, I do not have that. Do not have that. So I just wanted to show that because I am constantly being reminded of the fact that you never know what could suddenly become hot. Sometimes it is something that's a little unexpected. Sometimes it's something you never expect, like this, Hawkeye book and certainly that Iceman book that I highlighted in my video. So you never know. Red Cape Man Studios, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the chat. Worst transgression was with Thor because Thor is actually his name, like John. Yeah, I read some of the debate around that, and basically they were saying that Thor is a mantle, and like Odin's son is his actual name, but Thor is a mantle, and that mantle can be bestowed upon anyone who is deemed worthy, whereas his name, again, is Odin's son, and it's not Thor. So, I don't know. Get Contest of Champions miniseries 1 through 3. I'll have to look into that, Omega. Did it with pretty much every mainstream hero. Yeah. We're going down a dangerous path here. All right, so one of the things that I wanted to tell you guys I want to start doing, and I'm doing this because, again, what I've been finding is that sometimes I dig into my short boxes and I find a book that I didn't know I had, or, you know, I've been doing this random run series where I've been like highlighting these books that, you know, I remember from like my childhood, and I'm like showcasing them. But every few weeks or so, I find a book, and then I start reading that book, and then I remember why I liked that book so much, you know? And that basically just happened with New Avengers, right? I showcased New Avengers in my random run series, and someone asked a question about it. It was like, hey, can you tell me more? And I was like, dude, I don't actually remember, you know, what the story was about. I remember it being good, but I don't remember all of the details because I had not read it probably since 2004, 2003, right? And so I started reading the series all over again and realized just how wonderful it was, right? And it's almost like you get to find this little treasure that you already own. You don't have to spend any money. You just have to crack it open and start reading it. And so in addition to like the random run series that I've been doing, I'm thinking about doing a new series called Digging in the Shorts. And I mean, digging in the short boxes. And I want to highlight books, like maybe individual books or maybe even story arcs that I've reread that are still really great stories that maybe folks aren't aware of. And so I want to start showcasing those books. So in addition to like the random runs where I'm talking about these series that people may not have heard of, I'm actually going to read some books and then highlight individual books, possibly from random runs, but potentially independent of that. So stay tuned. I have at least one issue, one video that will be coming out relatively soon, and then I'll probably film another one or two at some point into the future. So hopefully you guys will be... John's Comics with Kids picks up my humor. Thank you, brother. Digging in the shorts. Why would I add White World Comics to boxes when digging in the shorts is understood? Is that anything like shit my pants? You guys are nuts. Between you guys being funny in this hot light, I am here sweating. Bad Dad 320 is in the house. Brother, you will not find any help in this room. We will encourage your addiction and we'll have you on eBay ordering all kinds of books. So you don't want to mess around in this group because we don't mess around. You guys are hilarious. So yeah, so I have that series coming out. So Digging in the Shorts boxes will be coming out sometime soon. I hope you guys will check that out. And then the Random Run, I released one of those earlier today, and I entitled that one Who's Your Cosmic Daddy? So you might want to check that one out because that one is also funny. All right, so I am going to unbox some stuff real quick. J. Perry Hill is in the house. This is actually an AOK from J. Perry Hill, real name Jeremiah. He hooked me up with some AOK stuff. I think he sent me a couple of reader books, so we'll crack this open and see what's in here. Wingnut says, we are not quitters. Well said, my friend. We are not quitters. Oh, Genome, you are a nut. He says, Genome says he was digging in his shorts for weeks after a visit to the bad side of Tijuana. Oh my goodness. DS Comics. Volleyball team in college was called Stuff It in the Box. You guys are nuts and hilarious. Oh my goodness. If I drank, this would be really bad. Yeah, John's Comics with Kids says he enjoyed the Iceman breakdown. Yeah, man. So again, that was one of those series. I didn't discover this one, so I can't take credit for it. We Love Comics actually discovered it a couple of weeks ago, and it took me a little bit of time to dig it up. But what was crazy is that I have 2 full runs of that Iceman series. Had it in like the back of a box. Actually, truth be told, yeah, I had it in the back of the box. A long box at the time. I had it in a box to be sold for like $1 because I, have, boxes of stuff that I kind of push out in my local community for like really cheap prices. And it was in there and nobody took it. So I ended up bringing it back. And then lo and behold, now I have 2 full sets. And then the book number 3 suddenly becomes like a hot book. So it's just kind of interesting. It makes you just, again, feel like you should never get rid of a book because you never quite know. Omega Comics is saying that I should unbox this AF-15. No, brother, it is not an AF-15. I wish that it were, but it is not an AF-15. All right, so we will cut this thing open and see what Jeremiah sent us as an AOK. And as I always say, it really doesn't matter what people send. If somebody wants to send something to me, I appreciate it because it is a nice gesture, and it really doesn't matter what it is. And so I am already thankful before I even pop this thing open. So Jeremiah, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. All right, so we got a couple of things in here. There's a card. I don't know if I should read that. We'll save that. Maybe I won't read that one. So we got a couple of vinyl stickers in here. You can't go wrong with vinyl stickers. So we have, I think that's the Kodak building right there. Susan B. Anthony. And then how'd you get a photo of my uncle? I don't know how you got that. No. So a couple of really cool vinyl stickers in here. That is cool. So thank you for that. Moon Knight 25 and 26. Reggie, can I send you some Superman? No, Gibson, you cannot send me some Superman, my friend. I am not a fan. You cannot send me Superman. Joe Jake, there we go. So he's repping his hometown of Rochester, New York, with some Susan B. Anthony, Kodak, and who was that? Frederick Douglass. Very good, very good. I actually read one of his books back when I was a kid. Stuck with me. So I'm a huge fan. Yeah, I don't want you all's rejects, Superman rejects. I don't want it. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I actually tried. I tried to read this week. I tried to read this, and I couldn't do it. I think I made it to like page 6. I made it to page 6, and I just could not do it. So I have not given up on trying to expose myself to DC Comics. I just think I need to go with a simpler book. I think that was just too overwhelming for me. Intellectually, it was just too stimulating for me as a Marvel reader. I need to simplify my world. So I am at some point, I am, as you guys know, I talk a lot of trash about DC, but I honestly have nothing against DC. Nothing against Superman or Batman or any of those guys. And I am determined to expose myself to some DC comics at some point. Kingdom Come is fun. You just have to read it. Like he's framing the DC heroes as Greek gods. Yeah, brother. It was overwhelming. It was overwhelming, brother. I was not ready for that. John's Comics with Kids says that Kingdom Come is a dense read, to be sure. Yeah, it was a lot. And I had my kids running around at the time, and I could not focus. There was a lot like going on in the book because it didn't have like regular panels, right? And so it was kind of like visually it was a lot, right? I'm doing my best Whitewell Comics here. So, Bad Dad, I am probably going to start with maybe like some Green Lantern, something simple, something simple. I think I have Blackest Night in one of the boxes that I won from Comics with Bueller. So I may try to check out some of that because Kingdom Come was a bit overwhelming for me. At Whitewell Comics, I don't do you very well, brother. I don't imitate you very well at all. You do a really good job in your videos, and I definitely would not do that justice. All right, so Wingnut says that DC at the moment has some stories that are actually better than Marvel. Don't doubt it, brother, and that's part of the reason why I'm trying to remain open to DC, because at the end of the day, a good book is a good book, So I am determined to read a DC book at some point. All right, so Jay Perry, you're going to have to help me out here. So we have Adventure Time 2014 Winter Special from Kaboom. This is issue number 1. Very cool cover there. It looks like a Nintendo game to me. It looks like a Nintendo game is what that looks like. Alan Moore Swamp Thing is awesome, easy read. Yeah, maybe. So we have another book here. Okay, he said, Jeremiah says that this is a popular cartoon adaptation. That's what it looks like to me. That's honestly what it looks like. Pretty cool looking cover. Pretty cool looking cover. All right, so next up, we have a variant here. We have Armor Wars #1. That's a really cool sketch cover. That's cool. Who is that? Is that an Iron Man? Is that an Iron Man? Who is that? Looks like Candyland, Tony says. It does indeed, doesn't it? That's a pretty cool sketch, right? That's awesome. Very cool. DC Comics deserves a quiet room with a reading. You guys are awesome. All right, so next up, oh yeah, there we go. From the pages of Uncanny X-Force Age of Apocalypse. That's cool. That's a cool looking book. Issue #1, Age of Apocalypse. That's cool. That's a cool cover. It does look a little bit like that, doesn't it? But that armor was much more simple, I thought, DS Comics. I thought that was much more simple. Maybe not. So Age of Apocalypse #1, very cool. Even has some painter's tape on the back, which is near and dear to my heart. All right, so next we have the New 52s, Futures, and Batman and Robin. This is a one-shot #1. That's a pretty cool cover. That's a cool cover. Lenticular cover. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh yeah, you can actually pick it up a little bit. That's cool, right? Cool cover. Cool cover. I like that. If you look at that too close, that'll make you, yeah, dig in your shorts. All right, and then the last book he sent me was Secret Wars Battle Worlds. You cannot go wrong if Howard the Duck is on your book. And we have Battle World #1. Another cool book. These are cool. Oh, let's check that out. So there we go. This is Battle World #1. Hopefully you guys can see that with a little bit of some Howard the Duck action right there. Let's see the back of this thing. See what's in here. Jay Perry says that there is I think an ad on the back. So we'll check that out. See what that's all about. Let's see what that thing does. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. American Dad. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that. That's cool right there. I got that square jaw. Goodness. Very cool book. Very cool. There we go. Now I've got a couple of DC books to actually take a look at. We'll see what's up with this Batman. Try to read some of that. All right, so very cool stuff. Jeremiah, I appreciate you, brother, for sending that over. Sent a photo of my uncle. Adventure Time. Armor Wars #1. Age of Apocalypse #1. Batman and Robin one-shot. And then Battle World #1. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. All right. So I think the last thing that I wanted to do was to announce that we are going to do trivia night this weekend. I was planning on doing it tonight, but didn't have time to pull together my questions. So I'm actually thinking about doing it. Omega Comics says he can't believe the conversation has been on DC stuff. Can you believe that? I'm trying to be open, right? No, again, I joke a lot about this is not my uncle. It is not Frederick Davis. It is Frederick Douglass. So yeah, we're gonna try to do. We're gonna try to continue exposing ourselves to some DC books, right? That is the idea, because I want to remain open. So at some point, I will actually break one open, actually be able to read it, and then I will actually do a video or give my opinion of that book at some point. So that's the goal. That is the goal, to actually make my way through a DC book. All right, so on to the announcement, because we're going to wrap this thing up. We don't want it to run too long. Trivia night. We're going to do trivia night, and we are probably going to do it probably tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it'll be Sunday, but tomorrow may be a good day. You guys let me know what you think in the chat, whether Saturday or Sunday is going to be a good day to do it. Probably around 7:30 or 8 o'clock like I normally jump on. We'll do it. We'll probably do 8 questions, and then we will give away a stack of books, like always, right? So 2 books for answering a question correctly. What I will try to do is tomorrow, more than likely, I will lay out all the books that will be given away as part of Trivia Night. I will take a photo for Instagram, so if you follow me at RegieCollects, you will be able to see exactly what's going to be included in Trivia Night. I think there should be some pretty good books included. I've been stockpiling books over the last several weeks since the last Trivia Night, so we should have a nice stack of stuff to give away. As with all these books, some are going to be in great shape, some aren't going to be in great shape, but they're free, right? So it's all fun, it's all entertaining, and what I'll be doing is giving away 2 books for each correct question, and we'll probably have a total of 8 questions. So what I may do again is, if you haven't signed up for notifications, you probably want to do that, because it'll either be Saturday or Sunday around 7:30 to 8 o'clock. I can't promise, because a lot of times, you know, things are a little crazy, and I try to get on as soon as I can after my kids go to bed. So if you guys bear with me, I should be online. The big thing is, for those, there are a lot of new people that have joined the conversation as of late. Joined the channel as of late. The way the Trivia Night works is that I basically throw out a question, and the first person to respond to that question with the full, complete answer is deemed the winner. And it's the first person that I see, right? So the lag is real, right? So it is the first person that I see with the correct, full answer. Spelling doesn't necessarily count unless the question demands that the spelling be perfect, right? But lag is real, so you guys just have to bear with me. But the person that I see first is the winner, and basically you get to pick 2 books from the stack of books that I will be showing. All of the books will be numbered, so you just yell out the number or the 2 numbers that you want. They will be set aside, and then you send me an email with your mailing address, and then the books get sent out to you. The questions come from 2 sources. One is just general comic book knowledge, right? And I cover everything from DC to Marvel to Image. It is general comic book knowledge. The other bucket is of questions is derived from the videos that I post most recently, right? So I would encourage you to go back, watch the videos that I've released over like the last week and a half, see the content of those videos, because in some way, shape, or form, oftentimes the questions that I ask tie back to the videos that I released just prior to Trivia Night. So there's a couple of hints there, right? If you go back and peruse those videos, you will be in a great position to answer not just questions from the first bucket, but also from the second bucket. All right. So let's see what's going on here. So Tony is asking, that was my next announcement. So let me get to that in one sec. Let me see if there's, so Bad Dad says that he likes Trivia Night. Wingnut says he wished that he typed faster. Yeah, brother, I hear you on that one. DC equals Dictionary Comics. Well done. Are you guys going on tomorrow? Are you guys going on tomorrow? Oh no, you guys are talking about your channel. All right, and when you want to do your show. All right. So yeah, Bad Dad, I appreciate you swinging by, brother. So that is Trivia Night. It will go down either Saturday or Sunday, 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish. Tune in for that. It should be fun. I think the last time we did Trivia Night, we had over 55 people come into the chat and participate, so that's really cool. The other thing that people have been asking about is, when is the next comic book war? So if you guys haven't watched that video, there's a really cool video up where Thanatos, aka Matt, and I go head to head and battle it out in what we call comic book war. And essentially what this is if you think about the kids game, I Declare War, right? Where you each have a stack of cards, you flip the cards up, whoever has the high card wins the round, whoever has the most cards at the end of those rounds wins. We do the same thing with comics. only the high card is actually determined by the audience, right? You guys hear us pitch our cards and the rationale behind those comics, and then you guys decide which one is the winner. We did our first show a couple of weeks ago. The next show won't be until November 12th. And the reason for that is that I was traveling for a while and Matt has to do some reserve duty, I think, or he has to do some military service. So he's going to be away, but we are going to do the next show on November 12th. So mark your calendars. We will probably make some noise in the community when we get closer to that date. I think we start shopping starting on the 5th, and we have basically a week or so to pull our books together for us to then go live on November 12th. So stay tuned for that. It should be a lot of fun. I think we had like 50 some odd people in there for Comic Wars #1. So we're hoping for a similar turnout for this next one because it could be fun. And what Matt and I have talked about is that at some point, maybe after the next couple that we do, we're going to try to open this thing up to another person to participate. Maybe it'll be Alex. Alex had the comic hoarder had expressed some desire to participate, so maybe it'll be him and Thanatos going against each other. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But certainly, if you guys are interested in that, don't be shy about putting your hand up and getting in the queue when we start to open that up. But that's just one of those things that we're doing to try to offer something unique and different to the community. So Tony, thanks for asking about that. Did Matt ever pay up? So Kingpin Comics is asking if he so what we did. John's Comics with Kids said he just sent 2 copies of X-Force #1. Please don't, because I already have like a half dozen. So what we're gonna do is I picked 2 of his books, which were I think the Green Lantern books, and what he and I decided was that to keep our costs low, we are going to do like a couple of rounds and then we will exchange books. And the idea is that, you don't want to, constantly be shipping books, right? And I trust Matt, I'm not worried about it. But maybe after this next round that we do on November 12th, depending upon how it goes, we'll probably exchange books at that point. Hopefully, if I'm the winner, I'll be getting 4 books. So the way that it works, for those that don't know, is that we each, we have $25. And we can buy no more than 5 books, and we can buy no fewer than 5 books and spend no more than $25. So it kind of keeps our costs relatively tight. And then what happens is whoever wins gets to pick 2 books from the loser's hand. So I actually won. I was down 2-0 in the first game, came back, won the last 3 hands. So I was able to pick 2 books from his hand. Because he's a Green Lantern fan, I decided to take both of his Green Lantern books. Having fun. And hopefully after this next round, I will get those in my possession. And maybe I'll actually read them and do a video on them. We'll see. So that's how it was a comeback, man. It was a heck of a comeback. I was over here sweating bullets. But yes, speaking of sweating bullets, with that Frank Miller Daredevil cover with the gun in his hand, that was a winner, buddy. So that's what's going on. Gave you guys a nice little rundown of what's happening. We talked about CBSI's books that are now, like, they're hot books that are up. It includes these 2 books right here, Young Avengers #1 and Young Avengers Presents Hawkeye #6. 2 hot books that you may want to check in your boxes to see if you have, because they are the hot books right now. We unboxed some pretty cool stuff from my buddy Jeremiah, who sent a couple of things over to me. And then we showcased a big whiner, that being Hawkeye in his own limited series. This is something that I found while digging in the short boxes. And as part of that, we also announced a new series that I'm going to be starting called Digging in the Shorts. And this is basically where I'm going to highlight a book or a short story arc that you may want to check out, that I find in my own collection that I've gone back and reread, that I kind of offer up and say, hey, do you have this? Do you want to check this out? Do you want to pick it up? So a couple of cool things. And then we announced Trivia Night will be taking place tomorrow or Sunday. So stay tuned for that. And then the next Comic War is taking place on November 12th. So that essentially wraps it up. Let me get caught up on the chat here to see if there's anything else you guys are talking about. Did Tony Sanders just get here right as I'm wrapping it up? Tony Sanders, is good to see you, brother. Genome is joking that about the X-Force. Don't ship. I'm going to win a bunch more first. John's Comics with Kids. You guys are hilarious. All right. Yeah, John's comments. I'm gonna talk some trash because Matt is my buddy, and especially after he just got that AOK the other day, I think that he can. I think he's pretty tough, and I think he deserves some teasing after that AOK. If you guys have not seen that thing, you definitely want to check out Thanatos Comics. He just got the most amazing AOK from TJ Watson. It is really, really impressive. A very generous AOK. If you have a chance, go by, check it out, give the video a like, and definitely give a follow to my man TJ Watson for bestowing such a wonderful gift upon Matt. Chris, how you doing, brother? I was just talking about you a little bit earlier. Your timing is impeccable because I'm about to get out of here. That AOK's ball is crazy. Brother, John's Comics with Kids, man, he definitely killed it. It is a wonderful act of kindness. It really was. And I think what was cool about it is that it wasn't just a bunch of books, right? It wasn't just a bunch of books. They were books that I think are really meaningful to Matt, right? These were books that books, titles, characters that he actually likes, right? Upgrades in some cases for his books, books that he couldn't necessarily get his hands on, books that he's wanted, books that he's been looking on but passed on. I mean, it was a really personalized AOK, right? So any AOK is AOK, right? It is cool, period, because it is an act of kindness where someone gives you something that they didn't have to give you. But if you layer on top of that a personalized AOK, I think it's even more meaningful, And I think Matt was touched by it. I was just on the live feed with Matt, like watching it as he was unboxing it. So I got a kick out of it, and it's just all good stuff, man. And again, it speaks to something that I actually sent over to White Whale Comics. White Whale Comics, for those of you that don't know, is actually putting together. He is actually asking for people to record videos and send to him where you basically talk about some aspect of the comic book universe, right? And I would encourage you to go listen to his appeal for it and how he explains it. But what I sent to him was what I like about the comic book, the state of the comic book community, right? Or the union. And it was really how important the comic book community is. And I've said this in my videos before, I'll continue to say it, that it takes what could be a very lonely hobby and allows you to connect with people that are as passionate as you are about this hobby. Sometimes that they're passionate about something different than you are, right? But it's within the hobby, right? There are guys like DS Comics that I enjoy talking with. He is crazy about pre-code horror. He is crazy about horror in general. That's not necessarily my thing, but it's cool because he's so passionate about it. And at the end of the day, we're essentially passionate about the same thing, that being comics, There are guys that love Golden Age. Cool. Not necessarily my thing, or at least I haven't gotten there yet, but I appreciate the passion that people have for that aspect of the hobby, And I think that's one of the great things is that you can have buddies that you reach out to that dovetail quite nicely with you, like John's Comics with Kids and I, right? We have similar interests and stuff, which I think is really cool. Or you can have a guy like Thanatos where we're different. He likes DC, I like Marvel, but we still have fun. And it's those differences that we have come to appreciate with one another, and we just have a good time with it, man. So if you guys get a chance, check out White Whale Comics' video where he's talking about his community project, and if you can, try to contribute to that. So we love comics. Chris just says he won another awesome Golden Age issue earlier today. I'll have to check that out. Reggie's showing me up. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah, I was the first submission? Yeah, because I like to be number one. John, I like to be number one, brother. So the first video I recorded, I actually couldn't send them because my audio was jacked up, so I had to re-record it. And I think the second one was actually better. So again, if you guys have a chance, definitely check him out. If you can send him some content, send it to him. Whitewell is a good dude. I want to support him because I like him as a guy. Like, I actually like this guy. Like many other people here, I've had a chance to get to know people, and for me, when I get to know you and you turn out to be a good guy, I want to help you. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's what friendship is all about. So anyway, so Genome says he may submit something, but he's been out of the collecting game for quite some time. Wouldn't be useful. I don't know, brother. I don't know that it has to be contemporary. It doesn't have to be contemporary. It could be whatever you want it to be, right? And that's how I look at it. It's like, it's your perspective, your take on things, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a contemporary opinion, right? A guy that likes Golden Age, that's not contemporary at all. So I would say give it some thought and see if there's something that you can share with them, you know? We love comics. I don't know about pure evil, brother. I think you're a good guy. I think you're a good guy. So Gray Matter Hulk says he loves Whitewell Comics artist series. Yeah. His artist series is pretty darn good. It really is. I think he just did Rob Liefeld recently, and I think what was great about that is that, and I think he even says this in this video, is that Rob Liefeld gets a lot of times the short end of the stick, and he gets criticized for his shortcomings. And I think what Whitewell did was he kind of highlighted that some of those shortcomings that Rob Liefeld gets criticized for are, done by other people as well, right? But then he goes on to talk about all the things that Rob Liefeld actually does well. So I thought it was a well done video. And what was crazy is I was recording one of my own videos, and I noticed that someone had a really wide waist, and it wasn't like a tapered V, it was a wide waist, unnecessarily wide, on the cover of this book. And that would be one of the things that Rob Liefeld would get criticized for, and it wasn't even Rob Liefeld. So for that reason, I thank Whitewell for his series that he puts together, because it's forcing me to think about my appreciation of art in a little different way. I don't know that I would have made that comment had it not been for his series that he put out. So definitely check that out if you want to find a way to better appreciate art, an artist. I would definitely check that out. And Tony Trombetta, I am definitely with you, brother. I think that We Love Comics is a solid dude. I enjoy his content, and I think he has helped me tremendously. And so, again, it just goes back to those things. When I find somebody that I like, I want to help them, and I think he's the same way. I think he and I have a good relationship, and he has done some awesome acts of kindness for me behind the scenes. All right, so with that, I'm going to say good night to all of you guys. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Trivia night this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, 7:30 to 8 o'clock. Go back and watch some of the old videos, because some of the questions will be derived from that. If you need anything, be sure to reach out to me, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening.